Hey guys, this is Jackie with Strength Therapy. I've had a lot of questions about how to arrange, sleeping arrangements with pillows and blankets and things for optimal sleep positioning. And I wanted to start off with basically showing you guys what a neutral spine looks like, because when we're sleeping, we want to keep our spine as relaxed as we can. So typically that means a little bit more of a neutral or a little bit more of a flexed position. So if we go into this anatomy app, this is Essential Anatomy, I love this thing. But we can kind of see the curvature of the spine. There's like this little extended curve up here with the neck. There's this, we call it a flex curve over here with the chest area, the thoracic spine. And then down here we have more of an extended, again, part of the spine over here by the low back. And then we have the pelvis, which kind of also curves in. So like this is kind of, you know, the full body over there. The pelvis comes down, and so you can kind of imagine like your butt down here, hamstrings, and so on and so forth. And so we can kind of tilt this guy around here too. So we basically want to support this general shape of the spine while we're sleeping. And you can zoom back out, but what typically happens when we're sleeping, and I'll just kind of like move some of this stuff around, but I'll just come right into bed. What typically happens is you either have a pillow that is like too soft, right? And people end up sleeping like this. I'm gonna put them in my pajamas, so I end up sleeping like this. And what will happen is that because their legs are so far down, that it's going to actually bring their low back up a little bit, so it arches their low back and doesn't really support the low back. And also they'll get a pillow that doesn't really support their neck. So it's either like something that they do one of these things, which not very many people do, or they'll stack up a bunch of pillows and they'll make it so that there's no support actually under the actual C-spine over here. So I don't have my pillow that I normally sleep with here with me because we're in Santa Cruz right now, but I'll show you kind of an example of how I sleep. Oh, also for side sleepers, what will tend to happen is people sleep on their sides and they'll have their knees together, their shoulders will be down here, and they'll end up with shoulder pain or shoulder injuries, and then also more low back pain too. And the thing with sleeping on your side, although it might be comfortable, again, you don't have the neutral spine over here on the neck again because of the pillow. And then also you're compressing both of your shoulders because there's nothing to support them. So you kind of have this collapsed posture over here. And also with the knees and the legs over here, like if we're looking at the pelvis from the front, you know, if we're standing over here, we have our legs in neutral where the pelvis is neutral, there's actually going to be a little bit of a gap between your knees. So what happens when you close that gap is that it actually makes the pelvis internally rotate or just kind of cave in. But that's not really happening when we're on our sides. What happens is, for example, if this is the midline, I'll face you guys so you can see it, like my giant fuzzy socks. So what happens is if we're facing the midline, so let's imagine like here is the side of the bed, instead of going towards the midline to be equal, we actually bring one leg closer to the other, so we torque the spine and the pelvis at the same time while we're sleeping on our side. So it's not really a good position for you to sleep. So this is how I sleep, because I'm kind of an everything sleeper. I make what's called a pillow box. So I'll have like a surrounding of pillows over here, and I'll have one on each side of me. And I normally have my decor pillow, which is like a pillow, but there's like a hole right there. And so your head goes right in here, and your neck is supported by like a little bit of a raised surface over here. But that's typically my pillow, but what can you do? I need to be adaptable anyway. And then I'll have a pillow over here so that it goes right under my knees. And this, by the way, super comfortable. So I'm over here in this awesome, cozy little pillow box. My knees are supported so that my low back is actually in a neutral position. And over here, my shoulders aren't pulled back so much. They're actually very relaxed. These can be lower if you want to, but also this helps if you want to train yourself to become a back sleeper, because it just kind of like cuddles you in there. It just kind of swaddles you in there so you don't really feel like moving. You're very comfortable in this position. And if I'm ever in a place where I don't have my decor pillow with me, I'll just make sure that the pillow underneath here is bunched up a little bit more under the neck, and that my head will be able to drop down so that my neck is in neutral. So this, I could actually just fall asleep like this right here. It's so comfortable. But if I do want to be a side sleeper, if you're a side sleeper, you can still have this set up. But what you would do is you either put this pillow between your knees, or you have like a longer pillow, like at home I have a body pillow, and you put that between your knees and you hug this as well. So if you didn't need two pillows, right, you put one between your knees and you hug the other one. And so this way, this top shoulder is also supported so it doesn't collapse down, okay? And then this bottom pillow, you want to make sure again that the bottom part closer to your shoulders is actually bunched up a bit, and you get it snug up to your shoulders so it supports the neck, not necessarily head, because the head is going to be supported no matter what, but you want the neck to be supported. So this position right over here is also extremely comfortable, and this will ensure you to have more of a neutral spine, or if you want to be a little bit more fetal position, a little bit more flex, that's as good too. You just don't want to be in this position over here, right? Like if I straighten out my legs, we don't want to be like this, right? In any position. So, just to recap, you just make yourself a little box, have a good nice sturdy pillow that will support your neck, have these things on the side, and then however you want to arrange your blanket, add like a little bit more weighted blanket, and then I can just pass out right over here and just wake up good solid morning, so, or good solid night of sleep. So I hope this helps you get a better night's sleep and wake up with fewer pains in the morning, because it definitely helps me a ton. And if alternatively you don't have 4 pillows to choose from, I at the very, very minimum have one for my head or for my neck, I'm sorry, and then also one for my knees. And then, yeah, that's my bare minimum. But if I can have 2 more on the sides, I'll definitely do 2 more on the sides. All right, well, I'm going to bed. I'm exhausted, so have a good night, and hope you enjoy that.